Hey guys, good morning. Sam here with another session of English expressions A to Z. So I believe this is session number 10. We are going to probably finish our e-topics today and move into the next, well, actually, I don't know if we are going to finish e-topics, but I think we're going to finish our e-topics today. We'll see. Good morning to all of you guys who are joining us. Hi, look up for. Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining me again. Hi, Edevi Fun. Thank you for joining in. Good morning. Hey, Sarah K. Good to see you. Good morning to you. I hope you guys are having a great morning and you're ready to learn some English. Today, we're actually going to start with a really exciting topic. A very useful topic, I should say, maybe not exciting. Hey, Negan Lu, good to see you. Hi, Puya, good morning to you. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Before we get started, actually, last time we talked about changing the time of the lives. So I wanted to try something tomorrow. For tomorrow's live, I wanted to put it at 5 p.m. So 5 in the afternoon, and see if that time is better or not as far as the people who can join goes. So for tomorrow's live session, it will be at 5 p.m. Okay. It won't be at 11 a.m. It will be at 5 p.m. I'm going to try it out and see what it's like. If I see that it doesn't make too big of a difference, I might just come back to the mornings, but hopefully you guys can all come. I really enjoy, seeing the same people join my sessions, and hopefully you guys can all come. Negindu, I hope, you can make it there. That would be awesome. So, if you guys can make it, please join me there. If not, as before, my video will be on Instagram for 24 hours at least, and you can check it then. And YouTube, I don't know, Mr. Afshari told me that he has a lot of videos backed up, so he hasn't been able to update them yet, but in the next couple of days, he said we should have all the previous sessions uploaded. So quick review, quick summary. Tomorrow's session is going to be at 5 p.m. Okay. You have to go to work tomorrow, really, because I heard that for next week they also said everything is going to be closed. So I think the English cafe is also closed. Hey, Tokta Najafi, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Good morning to you. Hi, Sunafa. Thank you for joining me. Good morning. Yeah, you have to go. It's okay. I mean, if you have to go to work, I understand. Obviously, the point of this live session is to learn some English. You guys shouldn't feel pressured. You have to come here every day. It makes me happy when I see you guys joining me every day, but I understand. If you're busy, you have to go work. You can catch the recorded live session afterwards. Hey, FC Shahbazi, good to see you. Good morning, and hi to Silver Sewing, I think. Good to see you, man. I'm sorry if I say anybody's name wrong. I'm just doing my best to read your names. So, like I was telling these guys, we're hopefully going to finish our e-topic today. We're going to start with a really, really useful topic. Let me get my mouse here in order so I can actually go through my notes. Okay, so we are actually going to start with a really useful topic today. Thanks, Nainlu. That is really kind of you. I really appreciate you guys. Our first topic for today is euphemisms. Euphemisms. If you guys aren't familiar with the meaning of this word, euphemisms, in the English language, sometimes when we want to talk about something that is embarrassing or impolite, or for some reason we don't want to directly talk about it, we can use euphemisms for them. There are, in many languages, there are a lot of different euphemisms. In English, there's thousands of euphemisms. A lot of times we use euphemisms to talk about topics like sex or topics that are political or things like that because we don't feel comfortable directly talking about them. Good morning to Nava AHM, and thank you for joining me. Hi, it's really nice of you to join me this morning. The first topic for today is going to be euphemisms. If you guys don't know what this word means, definitely look it up. I'll put it in my notes. Check the spelling. It's a very useful way of speaking like a native speaker. Okay, so when you want to sound like a native speaker, using euphemisms is awesome. It's a really good way of doing it. For your IELTS speaking test, these euphemisms, euphemisms have a lot of utility. Using them correctly is not always easy, so be careful. If you're going to use a euphemism in your IELTS speaking test, make sure you are using it correctly, or it's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to make the examiner think you don't know how to do this. Hi, Fariba 404. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Donya. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining me this morning. Hey, Khatere and MTHNOBS. No, you're actually on time today, Donya. You're on time. We're just about to get started. So don't worry. You're actually on time. Good to see you. Okay, guys. So I'm going to get started with the session. As always, I'm going to turn off the comments. If you guys have any questions, write them down, ask me after, okay? So here we go. As I was saying, our first topic for today is euphemisms. Euphemisms, I'll give you guys another explanation again. Whenever we want to talk about something indirectly, so we don't want to directly mention a topic. Usually topics that are embarrassing to talk about or they're impolite, we can use euphemisms to refer to them, okay? So it can be a more polite way of talking about them. And usually these are topics that we might not feel comfortable mentioning to some people. Like, for example, if you want to talk about sex in front of your parents, a lot of us feel uncomfortable, right? Because it's not a topic that we're comfortable talking about, so we can use euphemisms for it, okay? So the first euphemism we're going to talk about is used for when you want to talk about somebody who likes to take things. They like to steal things, okay? So we say, he's light-fingered, or she's light-fingered. We use this when we want to refer to somebody who steals things, okay, who takes things that aren't theirs. This euphemism, you can use it when you're describing somebody to somebody else. Sometimes children, they might have some habits that they don't know is wrong, but they have them, and their teachers want to tell their parents about it. No, parents, they don't like to hear their children they describe negatively, so euphemisms are very useful there. So the teacher might say, Tom is light-fingered. Would say that to their mom or dad. He likes to take other children's stuff, okay? So instead of saying Tom steals things, which could be very insensitive, which could make, the mom and dad mad, the teacher says, Tom's light-fingered. He takes other people's things. It's a more polite way of saying it. Or maybe, your parents are asking you about your friend. They say, hey, how's your friend doing? What kind of person is he? You say, oh, he's a really nice person, but he has a bad habit. He's light-fingered. He takes things. When we go to a restaurant, he takes the salt shaker or something like that, okay? So whenever we want to talk about somebody who takes things that don't belong to them, they steal things, we can say they are light-fingered. Okay? The next euphemism is used for when we want to talk about somebody who went to prison. Okay? Somebody who for some reason went to prison. We can say she's been doing time. She's been doing time. So we use that when we want to say somebody is in prison. They have been in prison. Or we can say he's done time. Past tense. He's done time. This expression, if somebody goes to prison for any reason, there are a lot of reasons somebody might end up in prison. Sometimes for financial reasons, because they couldn't pay money. Sometimes because they break a law they shouldn't break. For whatever reason. When we want to talk about it, it's impolite to say, that guy went to prison. It sounds like you're saying he's a criminal, which he probably is, but you don't want to say it directly, right? You want to say it indirectly using a euphemism because it's more polite. So, for example, somebody asks you, hey, I haven't seen Tom for a while. Where has he been? You say, oh, Tom's been doing time. Tom's been doing time is the same as saying, Tom has been in prison. Or maybe you want to talk about somebody at work, You say, hey, did you know that guy has done time? Did you know that he has done time? Or he's done time? When we say it like that, it means, did you know he went to prison? Okay, so it's a polite way of talking about an unpleasant experience somebody might have had. You don't usually want to talk about somebody in front of them like this, but for example, if you have been to prison and somebody asks you and you want to tell them, you can use this expression as well. You can say, I've done time in my life. So at some point in my life, I went to prison. Or I have been doing time, I've been in prison. Okay, so the next expression we use is very, very useful when we want to talk about somebody who died, okay? Somebody who has died. Usually saying, this person died is a very insensitive way of talking about it. It's impolite, okay? So if you don't want to be rude, you should use the euphemism. You should say, he passed away, or she passed away. Saying somebody passed away is a very polite way, sensitive way of saying they died, okay? So, for example, you want to tell somebody you're sorry their grandma died. You don't just say, hey, I'm sorry your grandma died. It sounds insensitive. You say, oh, I'm sorry she passed away. I'm sorry your grandma passed away. Or maybe you missed a class and your teacher asks you what happened. You say, my grandma passed away. Okay, so you can talk about somebody's death using a euphemism. You can use this for if you have like pets or something. You can also use it because people get attached to their pets, and you don't want to say, hey, how did your dog die? You say, oh, what happened? How did it pass away? Okay. Another informal way of saying somebody died is they kicked the bucket. They kicked the bucket. So this is not as polite as passed away. You shouldn't say this to somebody who is grieving, who's sad about somebody passing away. But you can use this in a conversation between your friends. Like, for example, you can say, hey, did you hear Tom's grandma kicked the bucket? Tom's grandma kicked the bucket. So instead of saying, Tom's grandma died or Tom's grandma passed away, we can use this kick the bucket. It's informal. You should use it with your friends. You should not use this when you go to a funeral, when somebody died and you want to talk to their family. Don't say they kicked the bucket. It could be considered impolite, okay? Just use passed away. So this expression passed away is very useful when you want to talk about somebody who died, okay? The next expression is also used for somebody who died. We say they are no longer with us. They are no longer with us. So somebody asks you, hey, I haven't seen Tom for a while. Where has he been? You say, oh, Tom's no longer with us. Tom is no longer with us. It's the same as saying Tom died, okay? Or Tom passed away. Whenever we use this euphemism, we usually use it when we want to talk about somebody who passed away, a while ago, somebody who died maybe last year or 2 years ago or something like that. Maybe your friend hasn't seen you for a while and they're catching up with you. So they ask you, how is your family doing? How is your grandma? You say, my family's okay, but my grandma is no longer with us. My family is okay, but my grandma is no longer with us. That means my grandma passed away. She died. Again, you can use this if you're attached with your pets and you want to talk about it. Like, for example, your friend asks you, hey, how's Fido doing? How's your dog doing? Say, oh, Fido is no longer with us. Fido died for whatever reason. So it depends on how connected you feel with somebody. You can use this expression, you can use this euphemism to let somebody know that someone died, okay? This is also a very formal way of talking about death. So maybe in a company where they want to say somebody passed away, your boss comes and makes an announcement. Your boss comes and they say, hi everyone, I'm sorry to tell you that Tom is no longer with us. He passed away last night, okay? So, Tom died. So very formal language. Both passed away and no longer with us. Both of them work. Kick the bucket, it's not formal. It's informal. You use it with your friends. Hey, did you hear Tom kicked the bucket? Tom died. Okay. The next euphemism we use, sometimes when we are in a public place, when we are somewhere there are other people around, and we need to go use the toilet. We don't want to say, I want to, where's the toilet? I want to use the toilet. So we use a euphemism for it, okay? So if you're in a shopping mall and you want to ask about where you can find a toilet, you can say, excuse me, where are the restrooms? Okay? Restrooms. So when we say restroom, we mean toilet, WC, washroom, whatever you want to call it. It is a very polite way of asking where the washroom is. And, if you don't want to sound like, it's not impolite to say toilet, obviously, but it just isn't a topic people feel comfortable. You might be embarrassed asking. So a very nice way of saying it is, where can I find the restroom? So you're in a shopping mall, you need to use the toilet. You see somebody, it's like, could you point me in the direction of the restrooms? Okay? Could you show me where the restrooms are? This is good to use in formal or informal setting. If you're at, you go to a business meeting and you need to go to the toilet, you say, excuse me, where is the restroom? Where can I use the restroom? Okay? The next one is used by women when they want to talk about going to the toilet. They say, I'm just going to powder my nose. It's a polite way of saying, I need to use the toilet. I'm just going to powder my nose. The meaning of this euphemism is, I'm going to apply makeup. I'm going to put some makeup on. But you don't need to be going for makeup. You can just say this anytime you go to the toilet. You just say, excuse me, I'm just going to powder my nose. Okay? Maybe you're sitting in a restaurant with your friends and you need to go to the toilet. So you say, I'm just going to go powder my nose. Okay, powder my nose. It means like I'm going to go put on some makeup. It's a very polite way of saying I'm going to go use the bathroom. Okay. Usually women use this. If a man says it, it's kind of a humorous thing. It's kind of like a joke, or I'm going to go use the bathroom. But usually women use this euphemism for going and using the bathroom or the toilet. Okay. So in any situation where there are people around, you don't want to say, hey, I got to go use the toilet. You can use one of these euphemisms. Maybe you are meeting some family and you don't want to say that in front of them, or maybe you're at work and your boss comes in and wants to talk to you. You say, excuse me, could I just go powder my nose 1 minute? Something like that. Okay. So the next expression is something we use when we want to say somebody is homeless. Somebody lost their home. They're living in the street. Maybe they lost their job. They lost their car. They lost their home and they're just not in a good financial place. Okay. We can use this euphemism as an adjective or as a noun. Okay. So we say, for example, he is down and out. Down and out. Okay. Down and out. So whenever somebody is in a bad financial time, when they've lost their home, they lost their car, for some reason, they're living in the streets, we can use this euphemism to, instead of saying, he's poor, he lost his house, we can say he is down and out. He is down and out. Have you heard? Tom's down and out. Oh, what happened? He went bankrupt. So it's a good euphemism when we want to talk about somebody who has some rough financial times, especially if they lost their home. Okay, we can say they are down and out. The expression comes from boxing. When you knock somebody out in boxing, they go down, and when they get knocked out, we say they're down and out. That's where the expression comes from, and it describes somebody who is financially beat up. They're in a bad place financially. They don't have money. Now, the next two expressions are when we want to say somebody is pregnant, we use it. So we can say, instead of saying she's pregnant, we can say she's expecting. She's expecting. Or a little bit more informally, we can say she has a bun in the oven. She has a bun in the oven. Nowadays, we talk about a family as a group. So we don't always say, she is expecting. We can say they are expecting. So, your friend at work asks you, hey, where is Susie? I haven't seen her for a while. You say, oh, she's expecting. She's pregnant. She's probably missing work because she's pregnant. Or you can talk about a family. You can say the Jones are expecting. The Jones are expecting. That means they're expecting a baby. If you want to talk about somebody who's pregnant with your friends in an informal setting, in a casual setting, you can use the euphemism, she has a bun in the oven. That means that, she's pregnant. So your friend asks you, hey, what's Mary up to? Oh, you haven't heard? She has a bun in the oven. That means, she's pregnant. It's not an impolite way of saying it. It's just informal. You shouldn't say this at your job. You should just say this between friends, family, people who you're comfortable with. If you're at your job, you say she's expecting. Your boss comes in and says, I haven't seen Mary. Do you know what's up? She's expecting. She's pregnant. after the baby is born, we say she had a baby, okay? So when we want to talk about somebody who just had a child, their baby was born, they gave birth, we say she had a baby. Mary had a baby. They just had a baby. When we say they, we mean like the family, like the woman and the man, the husband and the wife, okay? So they had a baby. This is, instead of saying she gave birth, we say she had a baby. Now, the last expression is usually used for talking about a man marrying a woman. We say he made an honest woman of her. Traditionally, usually this expression is used when a man marries a woman. So when we say he made an honest woman of her, it means that they got married together, okay? So they got married. So, we say Tom made an honest woman of Mary. Tom got married to Mary. I probably should have used a better name there. Tom made an honest woman of Susie. So Tom got married to Susie, okay? This expression, we use it. Nowadays, it's not a big deal to talk about people getting married, but 50 years ago, 100 years ago, people were a lot more religious. So when you wanted to talk about a man and a woman being in a relationship, they used euphemism a lot. And this euphemism, it means, he made an honest woman of her. It means that now they are married, so their relationship is religiously okay. It's an older euphemism. Nowadays, if you hear it, it doesn't have the exact same meaning as the times before. It just means two people got married. Sometimes you can use it as to refer to a man as well. Sometimes you can say she made an honest man of him. She made an honest man of him. Like I said, nowadays, because people aren't as religious as the old times, euphemisms change, okay? So I'm going to turn on comments. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And like I said at the beginning of the session, there are thousands of euphemisms in the English language. Depending on the situation, you can use them to talk about an embarrassing topic or something you're not comfortable talking about, or something that you think is not polite to say. Okay? Hey, dandies, good morning. Good to see you, man. So, and hey, Leila Hashemi, good morning to you. Thank you for joining me. So these euphemisms, usually we use them in our everyday conversations. So you might see them in movies, on TV series. In your IELTS speaking test, it's a little bit harder to use these properly. But for example, if the IELTS examiner is asking about, somebody dying, you say, oh, when my grandmother passed away, something like that, right? Her grandmom is gone because her grandma passed away. Yeah, it's more polite to say her grandma is no longer with us than to say her grandma is gone. But yeah, absolutely, you can say that as well. Hi, Ella, good to see you. Good morning. Can we use this for IELTS exam? I mean, yes, but it's hard to use them properly, so be careful. Make sure you're comfortable about using this, okay? For example, one of the euphemisms you can use in the IELTS exam is down and out. You can say, when my friend was down and out, very good way of showing the examiner you have a good control of the language. The reason it's hard to use is because the topic has to come up, okay? So if you're not talking about, somebody dying or somebody getting pregnant, you can't just force it in. If the topic comes up, though, you can definitely use it. Hey, Elohe 1961-4. Good to see you. I'm good. I hope you're doing well as well. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. We just finished the first part of today's session. We talked about some euphemisms. She has Oh, she has a bun in the oven. It's B-U-N, Fariba. A bun is like a bread, okay? So when we say she has a bun in the oven, we're saying like she has a bread in the oven, but it means, she's pregnant. She has a baby inside her, okay? So that's where the euphemism comes from. She has a bun in the oven, B-U-N. I'll put my notes up after this so you can check the spelling of all these things, okay? Mary has lost her place, where we can say her, she's down and out. Yeah. You can say if somebody lose their home, you can definitely say خاطره, Mary has lost her place. Or we can say Mary is down and out. You don't have to add her place anymore. If you say Mary is down and out, you're saying that she lost her home, okay? That's what we're saying. That's why we use a euphemism. Because when we want to talk about somebody's misfortune, we want to say Mary lost her home. It might sound like, we're not sensitive, that we're glad or we're making fun of her, but we're not. So we use it indirect way. Yeah, exactly, Khater. Mary is down and out. Down and out, not or out. Down and out, okay? Down and out, when we say Mary is down and out, it means she probably lost her home, her car, her job. She's in a bad place right now. Good morning to those of you guys who are just joining in. Thank you for joining me for this live session today. We just finished some euphemisms. Hi to Camden Grand Maya. I probably said that wrong, but hi, good morning. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, down and out. There you go. You got it. And yeah, that's how you spell bun, Fariba. I will put my notes up so you can definitely check your spellings. Don't worry about that part. So guys, our next topic we're going to talk about is excuses for being late. Another really good, useful topic, excuses for being late. Sometimes you have an appointment you have to go to, or sometimes for some reason you are late to your job, you're late to your doctor's appointment, you're late to meet with your friends. So you have to tell them why you're late. So you can use excuses for being late. Absolutely, Fariba. I'll try to give more examples, okay? Okay, so I'm going to turn off the comments while I talk about these expressions. If you have any questions, you can ask me afterwards. So here we go. Okay, so as I was saying, it happens to everyone. Sometimes we are late for something. Sometimes we get to our job late. Sometimes we're meeting our friends and we get there late. Sometimes we're invited to a party or something and we get there late. And we want to tell them why we're late, okay? We should usually give a reason why we're late, because otherwise people think because we don't value them, okay? So the first three expressions we talk about are for when we didn't wake up on time. So maybe you're supposed to be at your job at 8 a.m. So you put your alarm for 7 a.m. so you can wake up and get ready and go to work, okay? But when your alarm goes off, you don't wake up. So what you can say is, sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock. I didn't hear the alarm clock. This means that you put your phone, your phone alarm, but when it went off, you just kept on sleeping. It didn't wake you up. So you just kept on sleeping. So you said, I didn't hear the alarm clock. You can use this excuse anytime, you slept in, you're sleeping, your alarm goes off, you don't wake up. You can use this excuse. You can use this excuse if somebody tells you, tell me when 5 minutes pass. You put a timer on your phone, but you don't hear it. You don't notice it when it goes off. You can use this excuse. You can say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock, or I didn't hear the alarm go off. Okay? So, for example, you are supposed to be at work at 8 a.m. You get to work at 8:30 or you get to work at 9 a.m. and your boss is there, you say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock. So you're telling your boss, I'm sorry, I slept in. I didn't wake up on time. Or you tell your, you tell your friend you're going to meet them at 3 o'clock. You sit down and you start watching a movie. You don't notice your alarm going off telling you it's 3 o'clock. So you tell your friend, sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock. I missed the time I was supposed to leave, okay? The next excuse is for when you don't set an alarm clock or you set it for a wrong time. You say the alarm didn't go off. The alarm didn't go off. Usually, we use this expression for when we forget to set the alarm clock, okay? So, tomorrow I'm supposed to wake up at 6 a.m. Before I go to sleep, I brush my teeth, I go to bed and I sleep. I forget to set my alarm. I forget to tell my phone to wake me up. So tomorrow morning I wake up at 7 a.m. I'm like, oh man, the alarm didn't go off. So I tell my boss, I'm sorry, the alarm didn't go off. It's basically a polite way of saying I forgot to set the alarm. Or maybe really your phone ran out of battery and that's why the alarm didn't go off, okay? Sometimes there's some other reason the alarm didn't go off. So whenever you wake up late, you can either say, sorry, I didn't hear the alarm, or the alarm didn't go off, or you can say, I slept right through the alarm. I slept right through the alarm. If the reason you're late is because you were sleeping, you can use this expression. You're supposed to meet your friends at 6 p.m. You decide to take a nap at 3, so you set an alarm for yourself, but you sleep through it. When you see them at 7, you tell them, guys, I'm sorry, I slept right through the alarms. I set an alarm, but it didn't wake me up. I was really tired. I slept through the alarm. You're supposed to be at work in the morning. You sleep in, you don't wake up, and you go there late. Your boss tells you, why are you late? You say, I'm sorry, I slept right through the alarm. It won't happen again. I'm sorry, I slept right through the alarm. So let's do a quick summary. If the reason we are late is because we forget to set an alarm, or for some reason our alarm doesn't work, like our phone runs out of battery, we say the alarm didn't go off, okay? So I'm supposed to meet somebody, I set up an alarm, but I set it for the wrong time. So when I see them, I'm not going to say, I made a mistake. I'm going to say, hey, I'm really sorry, the alarm didn't go off. I set an alarm, but it didn't go off, okay? If for some reason we missed the alarm, we say, sorry, I didn't hear the alarm clock. So for example, if I slept in, or if I was taking a shower and my alarm went off and I just missed it, or for some reason, the sound, it didn't reach me. It's really noisy and I can't hear the alarm, I can use this excuse. And if the reason we are late is because we slept in, we say, I slept right through the alarm, okay? Now, sometimes when we are going somewhere, we use public transportation, okay? So we use buses, or we use trains or metro, something like that, okay? Now, sometimes our public transportation is late, so we want to tell, the reason we're late is because, my bus was late. We say, I had to wait ages for a bus. I had to wait ages for a bus. This expression means I had to wait a really long time for a bus to show up. It wasn't normal. For some reason, the bus didn't come on time, okay? I had to wait ages for the bus. Or we can say the bus was late. The bus was late means, it was supposed to be there at 10:30, but it showed up at 10:45. The bus was late, so I'm late. So for example, if you catch the metro, the train to work, and you go to the metro station and you miss the first train, and the next train takes 20 minutes to come. It's supposed to come in 5 minutes, but it takes 20 minutes to come. You get to work late. Your boss asks you what happened. You say, I had to wait ages for a train. You know, it took a really long time for a train to come. I had to wait ages for a train. It means it took a really long time for something to come. It's very similar to saying the train was late. You know, you're saying basically it didn't come on time. So if you have to catch a bus to go somewhere, maybe you're supposed to meet your friends for a movie and you're catching a bus to go to the movie theater. But the bus is late. So when you get there, you're late. So your friends ask you, hey, the movie started. Where were you? You say, oh, the bus was late. I'm sorry, guys. The bus was late. So I got here late because the bus was late. We can use these expressions for any kind of transit we use. So if you use like if you're living in a city that has a ferry are small boats that travel across rivers and things like that. You can say the ferry was late. I had to wait ages for the ferry. For metro or train, we just use train. Usually metro, we just call them trains anyway. And buses, are pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes we use taxis, especially in Tehran. Sometimes we're waiting somewhere and we're waiting for somebody for a taxi to come. And for some reason, there's no taxis. So, we say, I had to wait ages for a taxi. I had to wait a really long time for a taxi to show up, okay? And the next expression is very useful in Tehran. It's the traffic was terrible. The traffic was terrible. So whenever you're stuck in traffic, you can use this expression. It happens a lot in Tehran, not these days, but usually there's a lot of traffic. So this means that, I was stuck in traffic. You can use this expression when you're traveling with a bus as well. So maybe your bus wasn't late, but there was a lot of traffic, so you got to work late, okay? So your boss asks you, hey, why are you late? You say, oh man, the traffic was terrible. I was stuck in traffic. There was a lot of traffic on the road. Or my bus was stuck in traffic. So traffic was terrible. The bus took forever to get here. We can use this excuse anytime, we're late because of traffic. So if we're invited to somebody's house and we get there late, they ask us, what happened? You say, the traffic was terrible. Maybe there was an accident or something. Okay? Now, the next excuse is when you get somewhere and you can't find a place to park your car. And that's why you're late. So, you go to your doctor's office, but there's no parking space. And you arrived there late because of this. You say, I couldn't find a parking space. So your doctor says, hey, why are you late? What happened? Our appointment was supposed to start at 5 o'clock. You say, I'm sorry, I couldn't find a parking space. This is a problem if you drive. You might have this problem. So, if you have to meet somebody, but because you can't park your car, you can use this expression. You can say, I couldn't find a parking space. So I was looking for a place to park my car. The next expression is, again, another way of talking about traffic. When we say the roads were chock-a-block. The roads were chock-a-block means that there was a lot of cars on the road. There was a lot of traffic. A more common way of saying this is bumper to bumper. So the traffic was bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. It means the cars are so close that their bumpers are practically touching. So your friends are they call you up and they're like, hey man, where are you? The movie is about to start. You say the traffic is bumper to bumper. I'm coming, but the traffic is bumper to bumper. I'm stuck in traffic. Or the roads are chock-a-blocked. There's lots of cars on the road. The roads are chock-a-blocked. So both of these expressions, you can use them similarly. Bumper to bumper, you might hear it on the news, on the radio a lot. So, the radio person might say, the traffic on King Street is bumper to bumper. There's so much traffic, it's very congested. There's a lot of traffic, okay? So they might say the traffic in the south part of the city is bumper to bumper. The roads are chock-a-blocked. You can use this in an expression when you want to make an excuse. So, your boss is like, well, I was in traffic. It was bumper to bumper. Okay? The next excuse is, or the next two excuses, is when you're going somewhere for the first time. Usually when you're going somewhere for the first time and you're not sure where it is, if you get lost on the way, you can tell them. You can say, hey, I got lost coming here. I got lost coming here. So maybe your friend's house is in a part of the city you haven't been to. You live in the west side of the city and your friend's house is in the east side of the city. They invite you over at 8 o'clock and you get there at 8:30. They ask you, why are you late? You say, I got lost coming here. I didn't know exactly how to get here, okay? I got lost coming here. Maybe you took the wrong turn and that meant that you had to go, around trying to find your way. Or maybe you took the wrong exit on the highway. You say, I got lost coming here, okay? Or if some place is hard to get to, the instructions, the driving instructions are really confusing. You don't know where you're supposed to turn, what you're supposed to do. You say, it's not an easy place to find. Okay, so your friend says, hey, you were supposed to be here at 8. What happened? You say, your place is not easy to find. Your place is not easy. This is not an easy place to find, okay? You can use this if you're going to a work meeting, if you're supposed to go to another company, and you're supposed to get there at like 7, but you get there at 7:30 or 8, and they ask what happened. You say, this place is not easy to find. I'm sorry I'm late. This place is not easy to find. I got lost coming here. Okay? So these excuses, depending on why you're late for something, you can use one of these excuses. If you slept in, you can say, I slept right through my alarm. Or if you set an alarm and you say at the wrong time, you say, my alarm didn't go off. If there's traffic, you can say the traffic was terrible, or the traffic was bumper to bumper, the roads were chock-a-blocked. Or if you couldn't find a place, I got lost coming here, or this is a hard place to find. Okay? So I'm going to turn on comments. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. If you guys are just joining in, good morning. Thank you for joining me, but we are pretty much at the end of the session. Don't worry, I'm going to post the video up on my Instagram page, so you can go ahead and watch it. I'm going to post up my notes as well, so check the story. It should go up in an hour or two, whenever I get to it. Hi, Mariam. Thank you for joining in. I'm really happy you could make it. The traffic was bumper to bumper. Exactly, Khatere. That's exactly how you use it. So, your friend says, hey, Khatere, why are you late? Why didn't you get here on time? You say, I'm sorry, the traffic was bumper to bumper. There was a lot of cars in the road, so I had to sit in traffic. I couldn't get here on time, right? This is a really common expression. If you listen to the radio, when they want to talk about traffic, whenever there's a lot of traffic somewhere, they say, that road is bumper to bumper. So for example, they say, like Mirdamad Street is bumper to bumper right now. So there's a lot of traffic there right now. Okay? Yes, you can say I got stuck in traffic too. You can just say I was stuck in traffic. That's fine too. The good thing about English is there's a lot of different ways we can express ourselves. There isn't just one expression to say something. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. I'm just trying to give you guys some examples of the ways you can say something, but that is absolutely right. You can always say, I got stuck in traffic. You know, hey man, why aren't you here on time? I was stuck in traffic. I just couldn't make it here on time. So for those of you guys who weren't here at the beginning, hey Atravan, thank you for joining in. So for those of you guys who are just joining in, I talked about changing the time for tomorrow to 5 p.m. because I want to see if that's a better time for you guys. So tomorrow's live session, it won't be at 11 a.m. It will be at 5 p.m. Okay? So if you guys can, please join me at 5 p.m. I'll be going live. If you can't, I'll put the videos online and you can check them out. Sarah, yeah, metro and subway are usually the same thing. In fact, in most cities, when we say metro or subway, we mean exactly the same thing. Usually, I say usually because subway, it was a term we use for underground trains, okay? So in a city like New York or in Tehran, where the metro system is underground, we call it the subway, okay? But we can call it the metro as well. It's the meaning is the same. A metro, it can be above ground, it can be underground, so it can be any of these combination of things. Subway specifically is about a metro system that is underground. So like Tehran, a lot of the train system is underground. Some places it comes above ground, but a lot of places is underground, so we can call it the subway. Yes, I mean, it'll be at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So tomorrow's live session will be at 5 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. I just want to see if it's a better time to have them or not. If you guys think it's good or not, then you can tell me, okay? But very good question, Sarah. So, you know, metro and subway are basically the same thing. In some cities, they call it subway. In some cities, they call it metro. Yes, I will put all the words in my story. I will try to put all the main ideas in my story, you know, and you guys can check the spellings there, okay? So thank you guys for joining me this morning. I really appreciate those of you, especially who show up every day, those of you who try to show up, and, you know, if you guys are watching this, you know, you're not watching this live, that's okay too. I understand we're not always able to, you know, do everything we want. Sometimes we're busy or sometimes we want to sleep and the mornings aren't the best time. So our next live session will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Take care of yourselves, guys. Make sure you check out the other instructors' live sessions. They're also teaching a lot of useful English language. So make sure you check them out. It's been I've had a lot of fun today. I hope you guys take care of yourselves and stay safe, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5.